Deep in the red rocks of the Colorado Plateau, nature set a brutal survival test. 100 years ago, the Anasazi lived on the broad mesas, but as the population swelled, the land grew crowded, and the fires of conflict began to burn. To survive, they made one of the most counterintuitive choices in human history. Leaving the flat mesa tops, they moved deep into the cliffs. That was the domain of eagles, a refuge on the precipice. Right on the edge of this abyss, a vertical migration began. Lowering stones by rope, they carved a vertical epic into the rock face. This is the Cliff Palace, a stone city of 150 rooms, embedded in a massive natural alcove. It was no crude cave, but a sophisticated multi-story apartment complex. Nature was the best architect. The overhanging rock blocked the scorching summer sun, yet allowed the warm winter rays to penetrate deep inside. It was a natural air conditioning system. But this was also a fortress, T-shaped doors, cliffs that could only be climbed by hand and foot. Here, defense was everything. The walls still bear geometric paintings from 1,000 years ago. On this precipice, they didn't just survive. They created beauty. Beneath the palace lay their spiritual core, the Kiva, a circular underground chamber, symbolizing the universe. The small hole in the floor, the Sipapu, was the passage to the spirit world below. As night fell, men gathered around the fire pit. Smoke rose up the ladder to the stars, connecting man and God. Here, they prayed for rain and deliberated the fate of their tribe. Drumbeats echoed off the stone walls like the pulse of the earth. Every morning, they climbed the cliffs to farm the mesa top. Hunting on the edge. It was a balancing act on the line between life and death. Here, water was more precious than gold. They collected every drop of seepage from rock fissures, storing it in exquisite black and white pottery. Every drop was the continuation of life. raising turkeys, grinding corn. This extreme adaptability allowed humanity to take root in seemingly impossible places. But nature's patience was limited. In 1276 AD, a great drought lasting 24 years descended. Songs for rain grew hoarse, yet the sky remained like a red-hot iron plate. Corn on the Mesa withered. Springs in the rocks ran dry. Hunger sparked unrest. To survive, people began to fight for the last scraps of resources. Drought was accompanied by bitter cold. The once lively cliff balconies were now left with only the wind and sighs of despair. It was a heartbreaking moment. Around 1300 AD, they decided to leave. They sealed their granaries, as if hoping to return one day. No noise of war, only a silent exodus. The last inhabitants descended the cliffs, disappearing into the southern horizon, never to return. Sunset pierced the empty stone windows, dust dancing in the beams. A pottery jar was left forgotten on a sill, and the entire city instantly fell into dead silence. The massive alcove became a time capsule. Shielding against rain and snow, it kept the empty city astonishingly intact. Corn cobs on the ground look as if they were discarded just yesterday. Hawks became the only visitors. Mountain lions patrolled at night. 800 years here was but a single breath of the wind and sand. It was so hidden that it wasn't until the 19th century that cowboys, searching for stray cattle, looked up and accidentally discovered it. Modern archaeologists read the tree rings on the beams, unlocking the secret of the drought. The owner of those woven shoes, though gone, has not vanished. Lida lit up the dark cliff walls. On the screen, fire pits burned again, and the laughter of children seemed to echo once more in the canyon. The Anasazi did not go extinct. Their descendants still prey on this land. Cliff Palace is a wound on the earth, but also a medal of human courage. This is the afterglow on the precipice.